Hey, Happy New Year, Ideal Protein Nation around the world. This is the Happy New Year episode of the Life Possible podcast. For those of you who are not familiar with the Life Possible podcast, I started this show to spotlight successful clients, coaches, and clinic owners who use the Ideal Protein protocol to absolutely transform their lives. These people are living lives and they're pursuing goals and dreams that they thought were dead and gone. These people are pursuing goals and dreams they never thought were possible. And in some cases, they're pursuing goals and dreams they never even knew they had. In short, they're living a life and a lifestyle that they're enjoying so much they can't imagine going back to the way things were before. Who am I and why am I doing this? Wow, my name is Dr. John Barnes. And, the way I like to tell it, 5.5 years ago, I found myself in a situation where I was fat, sick, and depressed. I had a number of different things in my life going on that put me in a situation where I let everything go. And when I tried to get back to the way I was before, do the things that I knew how to do to lose weight and maybe regain some of my life, it didn't work for the first time ever. And so I had given up hope. I thought I was done and I was resigned to living this life. But lo and behold, I truly believe that God answered my prayers, both personally and professionally, through the Ideal Protein protocol. The Ideal Protein program came to me through a client of mine, and he had lost 70 pounds doing this program. He absolutely blew my mind and gave me hope that there was an answer for me. So I started the program. I lost 45 pounds in 9 weeks initially there, and we started doing the program in our office, and it has been just an absolute dream to help change as many lives as we've been able to change. Now, I live a life that I feel I'm healthy, vibrant, and alive, and I find myself over 60 pounds down from that initial weight, and I am pursuing my life possible by re-entering the sport of triathlon in my 50s. Never did I think that I was ever be able to train and compete in the sport of triathlon. And I've been able to do that over the past 2 years, which has just been an absolute thrill for me. So, I decided to go ahead and give this podcast thing a try. 2020 was such a crazy year. Nobody could have dreamed a year ago when we were at New Year's Eve and we were thinking about our future and what it held. Nobody had a pandemic on their mind, a global pandemic. Nobody had lockdowns and nobody had any of this stuff in their hopes or dreams for this year. However, life happens, and this happened. And you know what? It's fascinating to me when I look back, and I want you to do this. I want you to do this exercise. I want you to look back over the year 2020. And I want you to write down, I want you to acknowledge things that you accomplished during this past year that you never would have done if there was not a pandemic, if you were not locked down. This podcast for me is one of those things that has been in the back of my head. I love podcasts. I always thought it would be neat to start a podcast, especially one based around Ideal Protein. But, I truly would not have done it if I was not in the position that we found ourselves in. And, I just think that that's amazing. And I'm so thankful that I pushed through all the fear, all the doubts. That's one of the biggest, if there's one lesson that we need to learn from 2020 is push through the fear, push through the doubt. So what? So what if you fail? Keep moving forward. You will never achieve any goal that you don't try. Here we are, 16 episodes later. I was able to record 16 episodes over 32 weeks in the year 2020. And when I look back over them, I can't say enough about the 16 individuals who consented to be my guests. I consider them all good friends and people that I've been following on Facebook or I didn't even know before, who now I truly hope that someday I get to meet in person, that I get to shake their hand, that I get to give them a hug, that I get to sit down and connect with them in person, because these people are near and dear to my heart. So for those of you who have not listened to or seen all of the episodes that we've put out, truly, we have been able to reach people all around the world. And that is something that I'm super proud of. To say that I have a friend in Sydney, Australia, many friends in Canada, in British Columbia, in Alberta, just friends across the United States, has been a huge thrill for me. And I want to introduce or reintroduce you to some of those people. All of those people. Who am I kidding? All the way back, episode number 1 with Tuni Raffelli. Man, I tell you, someone I consider a brother from another mother. Tuni, yeah, I am a geek, aren't I? Tuni inspires me, and he continues to be a friend and an inspiration from across the country in Billings, Montana. Thank you for putting up with me and for consenting to be my first guest, Tuni. We went through a lot of technical difficulties, et cetera, especially when you try to put a podcast studio in a lead-lined room. Probably not the best connectivity and probably not the best results. But I hope to have Tuni back on sometime and actually do another show that would be a little better produced and recorded. Lona Ichikawa from our clinic here in Centerville, Virginia. Episode number 2. Lona is one of those inspirational stories that as I sat in my office and listened to her, just fleshes out the whole concept of life possible and what can happen if you restore your metabolic health and how you can start to pursue goals and dreams that you didn't think were possible. Lona was just a rock star during the pandemic. She taught us a couple of lessons about how to live in quarantine and to have habits, to have a daily routine, and things that are super important in life in general. So if you have not listened to Lona's episode, please go back to episode 2. Mauricio Bueno in Washington State. I got to interview him and his coach, Crystal, and that was just a fantastic story. Crystal met Mauricio on a stretcher when he was in health crisis, and together, Mauricio was able to lose over 400 pounds doing the Ideal Protein protocol. He's living just a fantastic life and learning what he can do these days. Ideal Protein has also reignited interest in his story and used his story, hopefully, to help inspire so many others. Cindy Savage. Cindy Savage is a personal client of mine, one that I am super proud of because Cindy represents not somebody who just struggled with their weight, but also someone who is an endurance athlete, someone who is running marathons and still struggling with weight. Cindy listened to me. She became a student. She then became the student who's now teaching me all kinds of great stuff. She put into play all kinds of our recommendations for training and nutrition. And now she is a fat adapted athlete who continuously sets personal bests, personal records, whenever she puts her mind to it and goes out and races. So if you are an endurance athlete, if you are a runner, if you are especially a runner who's struggled with weight and is ready to conquer that whole thing and enjoy running or triathlon for that matter, please watch episode 4. One of my favorites, because again, it puts into play my background in exercise science and physiology with Ideal Protein, metabolic syndrome, and what it means to be a fat adapted keto athlete. Episode 5, Ed Reardon. Ed is the reigning champ of episode views and downloads, and rightfully so. Ed is just he's a giant in the Ideal Protein Nation. And if you have not listened to that episode, Ed is a clinic owner in the Chicago area. He's got multiple clinics. I learned so much from every second that I spent with Ed. And I hope that there's so much more that I need to learn from Ed. And I hope that our friendship continues. I truly look up to him as a mentor on both a personal and professional level. Tracy Gardner, episode number 6. Grace, glamour, and grit. She espouses all 3 of those things. I had so much fun with Tracy while we were trying to film, and she was running from state to state. She was in Nebraska. And, again, I truly consider Tracy a friend. She inspires me all the time with all of the energy and enthusiasm that goes into every aspect of what she does, both personally and professionally. Melissa Hozak, episode number 7. This episode for me is just such a important, and I'd said at the time, maybe one of the most important episodes I produced. Melissa Hozak is a prescribing pharmacist up in Canada. She's up in Redcliffe, Alberta, Canada, at Redcliffe Pharmasave. As a prescribing pharmacist, she's an extra added thing that she had to study for and pass exams for to get that designation, such that she can both prescribe and de-prescribe medications. She and her husband, that I consider to be with the most interesting couple in Canada, they own a pharmacy together, and as she put it, her husband is on the side that dispenses the medications, and she's on the side that hopefully helps to restore health and de-prescribe medications. She puts into practice the fact that food is medicine and weight loss is healthcare. There is no better example of that than what goes on at her clinic up in Canada. Please watch that episode if you haven't already. Send it to your friends and your family who are suffering from not just being overweight, but having all the different issues that surround metabolic syndrome, whether it's heart disease and high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, whether it's polycystic ovarian syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome, so many different things, arthritis, gastrointestinal issues, anxiety, depression, all these things, they are related to an underlying insulin resistance issue. We are finding that more often, and this episode fleshes all of that stuff out to the best of our ability. Episode number 8, Dean Kilby, my friend from the land down under, Sydney, Australia. Dean Kilby is a mentor for me, a personal coach. I'm continually just inspired by the words that come out of Dean's mouth. The most incredible projects and things that he has that he's created and brought into being in so many different aspects of health in Sydney, Australia, and really around the world. What a fascinating episode. Again, just a mind, heart, and soul episode there. Please, if you have the opportunity and you have not heard Dean speak, please listen to that episode. We went back down to the great state of Texas to hang out with my friend Wendy White Stevens. Wendy White Stevens, the ideal protein guru, successful client coach, clinic owner. Her story is very relatable, and her stories of generational health, helping both the generation above and below once she restored her own health, to me continues to be an inspiration, and I hope will be very helpful to others as you're trying to help change your family's lives. Who else do we got? Oh, episode 10, Cooking with Bruce Frederick. Are you kidding me? How much fun. That was just a fun, campy romp with, again, another person I can kind of consider a brother after spending time with him. Bruce Frederick up in Washington State, law enforcement officer, all around incredible guy, and so great on camera. He's produced his own cooking films, and it's not just how to cook, but it's also entertainment. I look forward to hopefully maybe even another cooking collaboration with him in the future. Jenna Stafford, episode number 11. Jenna and I had a great time trying to put together this episode. And one of the coolest parts of this episode is something that I think will be very helpful for people now and in the future. And if you have not listened to episode 11, please do. Jenna took us through a meditation where she literally is trying to inspire you to think about what is that best you, that best version of you aspire to be. What do you in life possible look like, feel like, smell like, sound like? This is a fantastic tool. If you have not listened to this episode, you don't even need to watch it, just listen to it. I find this visualization such a great tool for people when they're they're losing sight of why they might be doing the program, why they might be trying to transform their lives. A great way to get back in touch with your vision for your future. Episode number 12, Dr. Dolores Zimbato. I can't say enough about Z. Dolores has been a mentor and a friend over my entire Ideal Protein career. She took a chance on me and was part of the acceptance process for getting our clinic going back in the day. And she truly, I owe her so much. I admire her so much. And I was able to collaborate with Dolores a couple of times over 2020. This episode is truly a labor of love for both of us, represents countless hours of work on her part with the things that she's done in Ideal Protein Corporate, being the Southeastern Regional Vice President. I look forward to so much the future as far as her and what Ideal Protein has for us. If you have not seen this episode, it is just an important episode to, again, understand the concept that weight loss is healthcare, and it's healthcare that you deserve. And there is no better approach to restoring your metabolic health than the Ideal Protein Protocol. So please, episode number 12, Dolores Zimbato, give that one a listen. Now, episode 13 and episode 14 come to us by way of Vancouver, British Columbia. Again, when travel opens up in this world, I am definitely heading up to Vancouver to hang with George Watson and his clinic owner, Zan, and actually the whole clinic, Vital Body up there in Vancouver. So Zan contacted me, said she's got this really great client that she thinks would be fantastic on our show. And so she introduced me to George. And when George and I connected, it was like we were long lost brothers. I enjoy a great friendship with George. And he continues to inspire me. So George was such a natural on camera and on the microphone. And little did I know, and by the end of the show, he surprised me with the concept that he was going to start his own podcast, Reinvention Unlimited. Man, I tell you that I listened to his podcast. He's got 3 episodes out there as of now. And it's been such an inspiration to see that, in fact, that in some small way, I inspired him. Actually, here, I'll show you on, can you see it on camera? Reinvention Unlimited. There it is, George Watson. Look him up where podcasts are seen, listened to. But then in the conversation with George, he says to me, you got to interview Zan. Zan is just a fascinating human being and a wonderful clinic owner. And she turned out to be just that. That show that I did with Zan, I think, is extremely beneficial. And we're going to springboard off of that a little bit more today, some of the concepts that Zan and I talked about. But please give those episodes a listen. Definitely things that you will identify with and that will help you. Episode 15, our first annual Thanksgiving episode with Sarah Malero. Holy cow, talk about fun. Man, I did this at the spur of the moment. Sarah jumped in with both feet. She was busy as all heck at the time, and God bless her for jumping in with me and doing the show. It was, like I said, we kind of threw it together last minute, and that's my fault. But it turned out amazingly, and it was so much more than just recipes. The recipes were just a great extra. But Sarah's story, nothing short of amazing. Losing over 300 pounds doing the protocol. The way that she was so authentic and sharing some parts of her life and some of the stories. Another one of those shows I ended up crying in the middle of. Just such a blessing she is for the Ideal Protein Nation. So please watch the Thanksgiving episode, even though Thanksgiving has come and gone. It's just not about the recipes. And then last but not least, episode number 16, a couple of weeks ago, my niece, Caitlin Slack. What an incredible young lady. She certainly serves as a role model for many out there. Please watch or listen to this most personal episode for me. Caitlin did the Ideal Protein program with me here in my office, and half of it she accomplished while she was away at college. And such an episode that I feel like so many young ladies will connect to, whether you're in high school or college or early 20s. It doesn't necessarily matter, but at what age. I really wanted to do such an important show to help young ladies who may or may not be struggling through these years. So there they are, 16 episodes over 32 weeks. I couldn't be more proud of any of those episodes. I got to tell you, this episode right now has been the most nerve-wracking episode for me to do because I haven't had somebody else to focus on. And it's been just very nerve-wracking. And this is my 4th attempt at recording this show for you guys. So I'm not going to prattle on. I'm not going to pontificate, hopefully, much. But so now, 2021, so what? Right? So what? Well, hopefully, 2021 is going to be the year that you make a conscious decision to pursue your life possible. That you make a conscious decision to take yourself to places that you have not been to yet, that you've always wanted to go, that you might not even thought were possible. 2020, 21, we're so excited to get rid of 2020 and move into 2021 like it's going to be this magical transportation door that we walk through. I was reading a post on one of my triathlon message boards, and one of these guys that I highly admire, an older 50-something who's trying to do his first Ironman triathlon. And he said, everybody is so excited for 2021, but what we have to understand is it's not going to magically change in a moment. We're not going to step into January 1st and all of a sudden the pandemic's going to be gone. The politicians are going to change. Life is going to be happy and all this stuff, right? And we can't expect that. We can't make that, make our lives dependent on what goes on in these arenas. We have to understand and focus on the things that we can change, the things that are in our control. And the number one thing that we can control, number one, is our mental attitude, our thoughts, our dreams, the things we let into our mind and the things that we expel from our mind. That's where we start, right? And then after that, let's pursue our Ideal Protein Life Possible goals, right? In our office, let's go here. Wait, wow. Here it is. In our office, we're doing a reboot event, right? We do this every year. This year, Ideal Protein Corporate has taken it on, and they're running a reset, refocus, and restart campaign. That picture is of our front doors of our office, early January 2020. And we were so excited for everybody to see the new paint scheme. We had repainted our office. My daughter and I, God bless her, Caroline. She and I spent many hours in here painting walls and putting up lettering, and so excited for Ideal Protein at Barnes Chiropractic Health and Fitness in Centerville, Virginia in 2020. And everything that it had to offer. So we had 33 people sign up and attend the event that day in our office. 33 people committed to resetting, restarting, and refocusing themselves in phase 1 to start their new year. This is kind of natural, the natural course or evolution in phase 3 or in maintenance during the Ideal Protein protocol. Most people will do a tune-up or a reset a couple times a year, and January is definitely the most common time for that to happen. This was the 3rd year that we had done the reset event in our office. Dolores Zimbato showed us this event and suggested it to us. And again, if there's one thing that I learned is if you just do what Dolores tells you to do, it will result in the results she tells you that you'll get. And the first one, I forget, we might have had 15 or so the first time, and 20 something the second time, and over 30 the third time. So very excited that this year, in this environment that we've got going on, we now have 34 people signed up to do this program here in our office. It will not be an event that is held inside. We will be doing all of this. Well, again, Ideal Protein has the virtual online event that I hope that you will register for and attend. If you have not done that yet, please go to the Ideal Protein website, the corporate website, and you'll find a place to register for the Reset, Refocus, Restart event. As I understand it, the 4 horsemen of Ideal Protein, as I like to refer to them, the 4 regional vice presidents will be giving us yet another dynamic presentation to get us started and kicked off again. They did a just 1 week kickoff restart back in fall. And I just think that was one of the best presentations that I've ever seen through the Ideal Protein Corporation. And so I look forward to seeing what they have in store for us on Saturday, January 9th. So yeah, you know, are you going to do a reset? Are you signed up to do this? So one of the things that I did during the episode with Zan was this concept that I have called the stages of happiness in an Ideal Protein journey. And if you are planning on doing a reset, or if you are in the middle of your phase 1 right now, or if you're just kind of on the fence as to what you're going to do with your nutrition and or with the Ideal Protein protocol, I want you to give this a thought. Okay. Now, to me, and here's the thing, right? So Zan and I, we talked about this during my podcast. And then she invited me to meet with her entire clinic at Vital Body in Vancouver over a Zoom call. And gosh, what a thrill. What a great night that was. I came in my office at 10 o'clock at night and Zoomed with her team in Vancouver. I'm telling you, if that is your clinic, you are getting top-notch coaching from all of those people. I was so impressed with those ladies. And we roundtabled this concept, this model that I am continuing to flesh out. And they helped me improve upon it. You know, so for me, it seems to me that most people enter this Ideal Protein journey somewhere along the line of what I'm going to call miserable, right? They're miserable with their life. They're miserable with the way they feel. They're miserable with their weight. And they need to do something dramatic to transform or change. However, what was fascinating to me was, and as we spoke about this, it was brought to my attention that there is probably a lower rung than miserable. There is somewhere even lower to go. And literally that is the bottom, right? And, you know, as I look back on that, I will say that that's probably where I was when I got started. And sometimes it takes people to reach rock bottom before they'll get started. So I know that you've got people in your lives that you have been hoping will start the Ideal Protein protocol, and you just can't figure out how it is to get them so motivated to do it, why they keep hemming and hawing, why they stay stuck and they're not willing to try yet. And truly, I think the answer is that they have not yet reached bottom. And I had one of my clients this year, an incredible client this year, that I've had such a privilege of working with, a man that I truly admire, who, as we're discussing addictions and other parts of life, that he brought to my attention that you cannot rob somebody of their bottom. As much as you might like to save them from reaching bottom, you just can't do it sometimes. And they have to get there first in order for life transformation or change to actually occur. And so, again, if you are at bottom, I'm here to tell you, start the Ideal Protein Protocol now. Change your life. It is possible. It's never too late, and it's the best decision you can make. If you're not yet at bottom and you're just miserable, well, again, we'd love to save people from having to go down this far. So let's just say you've made the decision to start the Ideal Protein Protocol and you start your weight loss journey. And we're now moving up the line as you're losing weight. For some people, it might be 10 pounds. Others, it might be 20 pounds. Others, it might be 30 pounds as we go from stage to stage. But you gradually start moving up the scale of happiness. We move from bottom to miserable. We move from miserable to uncomfortable. We move from uncomfortable to comfortable. Now, the next rung up the ladder is called happy, right? And happy is where most people will set their weight loss goal when they're starting the Ideal Protein program. If you've got a fantastic coach who's helping you with this and has been helping you from the very beginning, you'll set a realistic, achievable, and meaningful weight loss goal, something that's truly going to impact your health, something that is going to restore you to a place in your life that you may have been before, that you felt like you were felt your best and were at your happiest. So to me, happy kind of represents that goal. And most people will start the Ideal Protein Protocol heading for that goal. However, there'll be a certain percentage of us, and I was just listening to Ed Reardon's episode again, and probably about 25% of us, as he says, will pull up short of your goal, will pull up once they reach the rung of comfortable. I'm looking really good. I've lost 45 pounds. I really want to get moving in this office, and I've got other things that I need to do. Doc, I really want to exercise again. That's the one I hear the most. Can't wait to get back in that gym, and I just feel like I need to do it now. So many reasons and excuses that we pull up when we hit that comfortable mark. We've got that last elusive 10 or 20 pounds to go. I'm here to encourage you, and I'm here to try to put the bug in your ear to not let this happen. Please take yourself all the way to happy, all the way to that goal. This is where Dean Kilby says true transformation takes place. True transformation takes place in the last 10 pounds. True transformation takes place between comfortable and happy. And truly, it is my wish that every one of our clients will make it that far. I kind of agree with Ed, and I was listening to Ed, like I said, a little bit earlier today. As a coach, I feel like I've failed when my clients pull up at comfortable. However, having done it myself, I certainly identify with them and understand the phenomenon. And I also understand that that's not going to be the end of your journey or the end of your story. We tend to feel like our first shot at phase one is the beginning and end of our Ideal Protein journey. And I'm here to tell you, your Ideal Protein journey hopefully will last a lifetime. That's the way the protocol is built. The protocol has 3 phases. Phase 1 is weight loss. Phase 2 is stabilization. And phase 3 is lifestyle, is life maintenance. And so, truly, this journey is never over. So no matter what place you find yourself, you can always take yourself to that next level. And January seems to be the time when most people are receptive to moving forward. I did this, and I did this at the beginning of this year for sure. I decided that I had definitely stopped at comfortable. And when you stop at comfortable, I find that you're 5 or 10 pounds away from uncomfortable. It doesn't take a whole lot to slide down a rung. It takes one good solid summer vacation. It takes one good solid holiday season. And boom, you find yourself at uncomfortable again. And that reboot in January is losing the same 10 to 15 pounds to get you back up a rung to comfortable. So I said to myself, how many years are you going to lose the same 10 pounds, John? I mean, how many years are we going to do this, and what sense does it make? Let's find out what that next level looks like. And so now I kind of feel like I've been living this past year at happy, right? And when you live at happy, when you live at reaching that goal, which for me truly was more like 60 pounds lost from my original ideal protein start weight, um, you're 10 pounds away from comfortable, right? You're 5 or 10 pounds. You're just a slide from happy to comfortable. And living life between happy and comfortable is so much more enjoyable than the struggle of living between comfortable and uncomfortable. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm here hopefully to flatten your curve, to inspire you to push yourself up a rung. Let's get up to happy. Let's get up to that goal. Let's, don't stop at comfortable and don't settle. You deserve to be happy. I think a lot of people don't get to happy. They don't get to that original goal because somewhere deep down inside they don't believe they deserve it. Let yourself do it. Give yourself that gift this year in 2021 if you have not yet reached this level. But as we talked about in Zan's episode, and it's kind of fun to also start to dream and always look for improvements. I think there's even another level, and I think that level is, and I had a client flesh it out for me because I had this on my whiteboard for the longest time, and that top rung I did not. I had not named yet. And my client said, "Oh, I know what that is." And I said, "What's that?" And she said, "Damn, I look good. Damn, I feel good." And I said, that's exactly it. So for me, I want to inspire people that there is always another level. There is always another place to go. And so for me right now, as I look at every January tune-up, hopefully to get to what is the next level. Now I'm just constantly curious as to, how much more improvement can I make? I'm in search of, damn, I feel good. Or I like to call this, nothing tastes as good as this feels. For me, you're eating to feel good. You're eating to pursue dreams and goals. Your nutrition program and protocol and lifestyle is totally designed to improve yourself and to be at your best. I haven't reached this yet, and this is my pursuit during my life possible over the next couple of years. So that's one thing that I really wanted to try to get across to everybody or inspire everybody. If you are doing the tune-up event, if you are doing a January reboot, take yourself to the next level this year. We're still going to be in lockdown for a while. We're still going to be social distancing. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to resist the temptations that the world has to offer when we are getting back to life outside of our homes and in social situations. Take this opportunity this January 2021. Go next level with the Ideal Protein Protocol. Go next level. Pursue, create, and dream your life possible. All right, so to wrap this up, I just want to share an experience that I was able to have this past December. Truly, this past December, I received another gift from God, and I was able to see through and accomplish a dream that I've had for a calendar year. Last year in December of 2019, in my triathlon community, I came across a race that was like no other in an environment and a situation that I could only imagine or dream of. This is a race that was built around Daytona International Speedway. For those of you who are familiar with car racing and NASCAR, et cetera, you understand Daytona. Daytona is an amazing racetrack down in Florida, 2.9-mile track that has a lot of real estate in the infield. Inside the track, there's just a ton of land, and not too many people understand there's a lake. It's called Lake Lloyd, that is in the center of the infield of the racetrack. Lake Lloyd is about a mile long, and this environment lends itself to the sport of triathlon in such an incredible way. So 3 years ago, the developers and promoters of Challenge Daytona is what the race is called, put together a set of races and a race weekend that they're still building on, and it's going to get bigger and better every single year. Um, different distances triathlons. There's a 5K and a 10K if you're just a runner. All kinds of things that you can do. But I literally, over a calendar year ago, set the goal of racing down at Challenge Daytona. Originally, I thought I might be able to build up to and do the half Ironman stage. But with everything that went on this year, my training did not support that. However, I certainly could do the sprint distance, the smallest distance race, which was a half-mile swim in Lake Lloyd, 12.5-mile bike, of which 3.5 laps around the track at Daytona, riding your bicycle around the track at Daytona, and then a 5K or 3-mile run to finish up. This past December 6th, I was able to make the trip. It was an absolutely incredible adventure. Something that I thank God for. He was with me the entire time. I can't say enough that this race, enough of an impact that this had on me personally in setting a goal, seeing it through, and actually running the race and having it play out the way that it did. To me, this is a personal experience and something that epitomizes my life possible. I'm not trying to get everybody to be a triathlete. I'm not trying to inspire you, although some of my clients will tell you that is exactly what I'm trying to do. But this is my life possible. If you'd asked me 6 years ago or told me 6 years ago that I would be doing a triathlon around the track at Daytona International Speedway in the middle of a pandemic, no less, in the year 2020, I would have told you that you were just crazy and there was no way that this person at that point in my life could ever have dreamed of doing such a thing. So for me, for you, I just wanted to ask you, and I just want to try to inspire you. What does life possible look like for you? I want you to spend time this New Year's setting some kind of goal for 2021, some kind of health or fitness, or like I said, it has to be, it's your life possible. It's not mine, but I want you to give yourself the gift of setting a goal, working towards it, and seeing it through, no matter what fears you have, no matter what obstacles seem like they're in your way. I want you to share this with your coach. And I want you to hold your clients accountable to their dreams and to their goals. You know, I was able to spend the time with my oldest son. He made the trip with me, and he was my wingman and my pit crew. And that alone was a gift. How often do you get to spend that much time with your 25-year-old? But one of the things that I said to him, because there was a couple of other things that we kind of wanted to do, and a couple of things that we shared with each other. And I said to him at one point, okay, I need for you to be sure that I don't back out of this goal. I need your help because we want to do this thing. It doesn't matter what it was, but we had kind of said, oh my gosh, we got to do that. But as we often do, I could see myself going, when it rolls around, oh yeah, I just don't think I want to do that anymore. Or, oh, there's this in the way or that in the way. And I said to him at one point, I said, please, I need you to hold me accountable when I try to get out of doing what we said we were going to do, because I really don't want to miss that. And he did that for me. He was my accountability, my goal accountability partner. And I want to inspire people that when you do set a goal, when you do have an event that you know is going to be important to you, that you might slink out of or cheese out of, get yourself a goal accountability partner who will hold you accountable and will push you, whether it's your ideal protein coach or no matter who it is. All right. I want to thank you so much if you've made it this far through the podcast. I promise, well, I'm not going to make this promise, but I promise this will be my last solo attempt at a podcast without a guest. I hope that there's been something in here that may or may not inspire you to greater things in 2021. And I want you to bear with me. I will definitely have better episodes ahead for you. Already working on the next one that we are going to put out. Our first real episode of 2021 hopes to air on Thursday, January 9th. I'll be interviewing Cindy Engen. Up again, I'm reaching even further north in Canada to a place called Salmon Arm, Canada. Who knew that salmon had arms? Right there. I'm going to make that joke. I am so sorry, Cindy. That is not the end of that joke. It will happen, I'm sure, in the very near future. But an amazing, incredible coach. She contacted me about one of her clients who she wants me to interview, who she thinks is going to be fantastic for the show. And when I had my Zoom call with Cindy to talk about this client, I was just so fascinated by Cindy's story and the things that she's doing in her clinic, the Drop Zone up there, that I said, Cindy, I want to interview you first, and then we'll move on and we'll interview your client too. It's going to be another one of those incredible shows. I can't wait for you guys to see it and hear it. So until then, once again, Happy New Year. Happy life possible. Let's make this the best year yet.